Did Ginny and Jayna have a secret special relationship? The story everyone overlooked. From the very beginning, one question hovered in the air like a silent storm gathering strength on the horizon, a question whispered in fan circles, murmured across online forums, and quietly analyzed by industry insiders who sensed that something deeper, something far more personal than friendship, existed beneath the polished smiles and carefully curated interviews. What truly connected Ginny and Jayna, and why did so many subtle moments between them speak louder than any public statement ever could? Hold on tight, C-Drama family. The world of your favorite celebrities is unfolding before your eyes, and every moment is more breathtaking than the last. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications right now, because trust me, you do not want to miss what's coming next. This question resurfaced with thunderous force the moment the luxury car surprise went viral, not because the gift itself was extravagant, but because of the raw, unfiltered emotion in Jayna's reaction, the way her voice cracked as she whispered Ginny's name, the way her hands trembled, not with shock, but with recognition of a love language she had known for a long time. It was the kind of reaction that comes only from someone who has been deeply understood, cherished, and seen, not for a moment or a season but for years, silently and consistently. To truly understand the magnitude of this gesture, one must go back to the early days of their careers, long before the spotlights, long before the magazine covers and award stages. In those early training years, the industry was harsh and competitive, with sleepless nights, failed auditions, and endless critiques that left many young actresses disillusioned. Amid the chaos of auditions and long hours, Ginny and Jayna found in each other something rare, a sense of home. They shared late-night conversations in practice rooms lit only by vending machine glow, exchanged food during tight schedules, and leaned on each other during the moments when the pressure of fame threatened to crush even the strongest spirits. Witnesses who were around back then remember it clearly. Whenever Jayna felt overwhelmed, Ginny would wordlessly place a bottle of warm tea on her desk, the gesture so natural it looked like second nature. Whenever Ginny struggled with choreography, Jayna would stay after rehearsals, practicing beside her until the music studio lights dimmed. These were not grand declarations but small daily rituals that built a bond the public never fully understood. As the years passed and their careers soared, the world saw only the glamorous surface, the red carpets, the award shows, the promotional events, but behind the scenes, the dynamic stayed unchanged. They still sought each other out after long shoots, still confided in each other during silent car rides, still found ways to reconnect even when their schedules pulled them in different directions. Insiders often whispered that Ginny seemed calmer whenever Jayna was nearby, and that Jayna's confidence grew in the spaces where Ginny stood beside her. This is why the luxury car moment hit the internet like a tidal wave. To the casual viewer, it was a grand gesture, an impressive surprise. But to those who had watched their journey from the very beginning, it was something far more intimate, a culmination of years of emotional investment, resilience, and a connection that had endured through fame, distance, and industry storms. What the cameras did not show was the moment before the surprise, when Ginny stood beside the gleaming vehicle, her fingers running lightly over the polished surface as she breathed in deeply, steadying herself. Gifting something of this magnitude was not an act of extravagance, it was an unspoken message, a confession wrapped in steel and leather, a way of telling Jayna that she deserved comfort, stability, luxury, and above all, love that was unconditional. And when Jayna arrived, unaware of the surprise waiting for her, the shock in her expression was not merely about the car itself, but about the realization that someone had paid attention to her small dreams. Weeks earlier, she had casually mentioned, almost jokingly, that she had always wanted a particular model, never imagining that Ginny would remember, much less turn that passing comment into reality. The moment Jayna saw the car, time seemed to stretch. Her breath caught, her eyes widened, and before she could process anything, her body reacted in the purest way possible. She burst into tears. These were not the restrained, camera-ready tears seen in scripted dramas. These were unfiltered, vulnerable tears that came from the deepest part of her, a place reserved only for someone who truly mattered. She covered her mouth with shaking hands as Ginny stepped forward, her voice soft yet steady, telling Jayna that she deserved something beautiful, something lasting, something that reflected the strength she had shown over the years. Their embrace that followed became the single most replayed clip of the viral video. It was long, tight, and trembling, the kind of embrace shared by two people who had weathered emotional storms together, who knew each other far beyond the confines of the public persona. Fans noted the way Jayna clung to Ginny's shoulder, how Ginny's hand settled on Jayna's back with gentle reassurance, and how, even after pulling apart, they remained close, too close for coincidence, too familiar for surface-level friendship. This moment reignited the long-standing speculation: was there something more, something quietly protected between them, something that neither had ever confirmed nor denied because some bonds did not need labels, only understanding? In the days that followed, analysts broke down the video frame by frame, bloggers wrote emotional essays about their dynamic, and social media flooded with theories that ranged from playful to deeply heartfelt. But the truth, as always, lay somewhere in the quiet space between public appearances and private promises. What Ginny and Jayna shared was not a spectacle designed for attention, it was a connection that had been nurtured long before fame found them and would likely endure long after the cameras lost interest. And as the world continues to watch them, two actresses whose careers rise higher with each passing year, one question remains more compelling than ever: was the luxury car simply a gift, or was it the clearest sign yet of a relationship far deeper, far more intimate, and far more enduring than anyone realized? From the moment the first rumor surfaced online, the world found itself circling a single unanswered question that refused to disappear, a question whispered across fan forums, private group chats, and late-night live streams. Did Ginny and Jayna share a bond that went far beyond friendship, far beyond co-stars, far beyond anything the industry had ever dared to reveal? It was a question that had lived quietly in the shadows for months, a question that grew louder each time they were seen together, each time one posted a cryptic caption, each time their chemistry on-screen spilled into real life with a depth that felt too natural to be rehearsed. And yet, nothing could have prepared the world for what happened next, because what began as a soft whisper erupted into global shock the moment the footage surfaced, footage of two actresses stepping into a moment so deeply emotional, so intimately captured, that the internet all but stopped breathing as it tried to understand what it had just witnessed. It began with the luxury car surprise, a gesture that would have been impressive from anyone, but from Ginny, it carried a kind of weight that no interview explanation could soften. Jayna had been finishing a long day on set, exhausted, smiling politely for staff and fans who lingered around the perimeter. She expected nothing more than a ride back to her hotel, a quiet night, a chance to rest. But as she stepped outside, the rain beginning to drizzle gently across the pavement, the headlights of a sleek, freshly polished car ignited in the darkness. At first, Jayna froze. The crew went silent. The sound of rain on metal became the only noise in the world. And then, from the far side of the vehicle, Ginny stepped forward. It wasn't dramatic at first glance. She didn't shout. She didn't make a grand announcement. She simply moved toward Jayna with the slow, deliberate steps of someone who had made a decision after weeks, maybe months, of deep consideration. Even the umbrella she held above her head dipped slightly as she looked up, revealing an expression that held everything: affection, worry, excitement, fear of being misunderstood, but above all, devotion. Without uttering a word, she reached into her pocket, drew out a small velvet box, not elegant jewelry, but a car key, wrapped carefully with a ribbon, and held it out to Jayna. The silence that followed felt endless. Fans who witnessed it described an overwhelming stillness, as if the moment itself refused to be rushed. Jayna looked at the key, then at Ginny, then back at the car, her breath catching in her throat as the reality of the gesture settled upon her. Her reaction was not the polished expression of a celebrity receiving a gift from a colleague. It was raw. Emotional. Vulnerable. Her hand rose to her mouth, trembling. Her eyes filled instantly, not with the dramatic tears of publicity, but with the kind that spring from a place of pure sincerity. Her body moved on instinct, closing the distance between them before her mind could process it. And when she finally spoke, her voice cracked just once, not loud, not dramatic, but enough to reveal everything her restraint had tried to hide. The embrace that followed became the clip that the entire internet replayed for days, the clip that fueled endless discussions, analyses, and fan theories. Because when Ginny pulled Jayna into her arms, there was no hesitation, no awkwardness, no celebrity performance. Jayna collapsed into her with the helplessness of someone who had been carrying far too much for far too long. Ginny held her with both arms, her hand resting gently on the back of Jayna's head in a way that spoke of long familiarity, of knowing her fears, of understanding what she needed without a single word exchanged. That single touch ignited a wave of speculation that nothing could contain.